The picture the media is trying to paint of Luigi Mangione seems to not be working on social media. Recently, he was in New York getting transported before court appearance, and he was seen with a group of police, the mayor, and just a huge squad. And even the NYPD posted some pictures of him and some more, and I can't even lie. I feel like he gained some aura points with this one. Like, doesn't this look badass? Also, did he get a haircut or his eyebrows done while being locked up? Because I feel like I wasn't the only one to notice. Many people were saying that these pictures were supposed to villainize him, and a lot of people calling this a stunt, kind of making an example out of him, but I don't know if it did that because people were comparing him to literally Superman. Like, I'm not even kidding you. This is literally a real scene in Superman, and the ironic part is trailer for Superman literally dropped today, and it actually looked pretty good. Like, you would have thought this guy was literally a drug lord based on this picture. I hate to say it, this might be unpopular, but I feel like honestly this only made him look cool. Like, let's be.
They are treating Luigi Mangione as a first-class terrorist. Imagine this. A man who went to a prestigious private prep school in Maryland, then attended Penn, an Ivy League institution, not just for undergrad, but also for his postgraduate studies. We're talking about someone whose family wealth is firmly within the 1% of the 1% club. Yet despite these extraordinary advantages in life, 26-year-old Luigi Mangione now sits in a jail cell, staring down the possibility of life without parole. Why? He's been charged with terrorism in New York for the assassination of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. But that's not all. In a bombshell development, the federal government has also filed its own murder charges against him, introducing yet another layer of complexity to what's quickly becoming the year's biggest true crime saga. This case is more than just a crime story. It's a cultural flashpoint, a legal labyrinth, and a litmus test for how justice is perceived in the digital age. Tonight, we'll break it all down for you. I'm Vinnie Politan, and this is Closing Arguments. Buckle up, because this story keeps taking darker, stranger turns. Things have gone from bad to worse for Mangione in record time. Just this morning, he was in Pennsylvania dealing with relatively minor weapons charges. Now, he's been extradited to New York to face some of the most severe accusations in the book. Terrorism charges, first-degree murder, and as if that weren't enough, the feds have jumped into the fray, piling on federal charges that have raised eyebrows across the legal community. Why, you might ask, is the federal government stepping into what many see as a straightforward state-level case? That's one of the burning questions we'll tackle tonight. The crime that shook the nation. The crime itself was brutal and shocking. A public execution on a New York City street. Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare, gunned down in cold blood. The video evidence is damning and leaves little doubt about what happened. Yet, despite this, support for Mangione is growing. Yes, you heard that right. Online communities are rallying around him, and supporters are even showing up at court with signs of solidarity. What makes this case so unusual is Mangione's transformation in the public eye.
And it's clearly out of touch, and it's an insult to the intelligence of the American people. It's an experience.
Mail shot 1225 6th Avenue.
Hear me on this. He is no hero.
We have a description on this perpetrator.
How people can like this guy, that's a sickness, actually.
And it's an insult to the intelligence of the American people.
I think they should probably have a mural to Luigi somewhere, right?
This was Luigi Mangione at his latest court hearing. A villain or a hero? On that question, America is divided.
He's not just another accused criminal. To some, he's become a symbol of resistance, a so-called social justice warrior targeting the ultra-wealthy and the healthcare industry. But how did we get here? And more importantly, where does it all lead? The legal maze, state versus federal charges. The charges against Mangione are piling up faster than his defense team can strategize. Today, we saw a significant escalation with the unsealing of federal charges. According to a new complaint filed by the Southern District of New York, Mangione's motives were deeply ideological. He allegedly harbored intense hostility toward the health insurance industry and wealthy executives. The evidence: a handwritten notebook found in his possession detailing his plans and motivations. One particularly chilling entry from August 15th reveals how he meticulously researched his target. The details are finally coming together. I'm glad in a way that I procrastinated because it allowed me to learn more about UHC. Another entry from October 22nd is even more explicit. The target is insurance because it checks every box. This investor conference is a true windfall, and most importantly, the message becomes self-evident. Less than 2 months later, Brian Thompson was dead. Federal involvement in a case like this is unusual, to say the least. Many legal experts are questioning the double jeopardy implications of prosecuting Mangione in both state and federal courts. His attorney has already signaled plans to challenge these charges on constitutional grounds. But the federal government isn't backing down. Their case paints a picture of a man driven by ideological extremism, someone who saw himself as delivering a message to the world. If convicted on the federal charges, Mangione could face life in a maximum security prison, effectively burying him in the system forever. Meanwhile, the state charges in New York also carry the possibility of life without parole. And let's not forget Pennsylvania, which still intends to pursue its case against him once the dust settles in New York and federal courts. As Mangione's legal troubles mount, so does public interest in his story. Today, he appeared in court in Pennsylvania before being extradited to New York. Unlike his earlier, more chaotic appearances, he seemed calm and composed. Gone were the outbursts and defiant screams that characterized his initial interactions with the media. Was he medicated? Is he finally coming to terms with his situation? Or is this part of a calculated shift in strategy?